Hello and welcome back to the Wisdom for Humanity podcast series. My name is James Malins, I am the Wisdom Guide, and in this series we're helping you to go from your present state to your desired state through wisdom, knowledge and real life experiences. Now in this episode we're talking about learning to grow. Now some of you might be, clicking on this with a bit of intrigue, wondering what the hell are we going to be talking about here? Well, the reason why I've put this episode in here is because a lot of people as they're going through life, they don't know how to learn. Right, and some of you might be looking a little bit weird here thinking, well, this is a bit odd, James. Some people don't know how to learn efficiently. And what do I mean by that? I mean that if there are parts of your life that are upsetting you and that are miserable and that are a bit depressive, or you're super happy, super buzzing and everything's amazing, but you're not quite where you want to be, then you've got to learn the specialised knowledge necessary to get you to where you want to be. So I'm going to give you a real awesome example. This whole podcast. All right, this whole podcast series, I had to learn how to do it. I had to acquire the specialised knowledge to learn how to do a podcast series. I've never done RSS feeds before. I've never uploaded it to iTunes. I've never been able to get it to be reviewed in iTunes. Some of you might be laughing at this because I messed up there. All right, I never did any of the podcast art or scheduling it or any of that stuff through BuzzFeed, any of that, and I had to learn. So my question for you on this episode is, what do you have to learn in order to get to where you want to be? Alright, so you want to do your own podcast. Who you got to speak to? What do you have to learn? What specialised knowledge do you have to acquire? And of course this comes into the factor of obviously also investing in yourself and learning through coaches and mentors and possible, therapists and things like that. It's really important that you invest in yourself. Because if you don't invest in yourself, then how are you ever going to get to where you want to be? There's a lot of knowledge on the internet, but then you've got the problem of who do you listen to? Who do you trust? And that same notion goes for me. Should you trust me? Should you listen to what I have to say? Should you believe me? I would say that the best way that you answer that question is by asking yourself, is it working? Are these episodes helping you? Are they giving you a better realization? Are they helping you to better understand your life so that you can live in more peace and harmony with the people around you and achieve your dreams and goals? Just like you have with me, you have to ask yourself, who do you listen to? Some of the stuff I'm saying might not be right for you right now. And this isn't to sort of knock it, but you've got to make the right judgment calls. Follow your gut instinct. There are a lot of beautiful people in my life and they say, James, you've helped me so much. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to get to where a happy place in life. Like I was miserable, I was upset, and you've been able to help me to get to a better place. And it was their time to listen to me. They should have listened to me. I had the keys and the tools necessary to help them lead a better life. And that could put a little bit of fear into you being, you say that and now I don't know who to listen to. What if I can't listen to anybody? And look, this comes back to the same thing. You've got to follow your gut instinct. You have to follow what your heart tells you because ultimately your heart's going to lead you in the right path. I speak to quite a few people and there are times when I get a bad feeling. It doesn't happen very often, but I get a bad feeling speaking to people. And when that happens, I have to make the choice. Do I continue with this person, learn with them and grow with them? Or do I distance myself and go the other way? And just bringing it back on topic with this specialised knowledge, you might want to start a business and you think you've got to go to college or you've got to go to university, get a business degree and all that kind of stuff. I never went to college and did business or did a university degree. And yet I've had 3 businesses. Granted, they failed. But now I have this one and I love it. I see this as a business. I see this as an opportunity to change people's lives. And let me tell you right now, if you can change someone's life, even in a small fashion, they'll pay you for it. Alright, they will pay you for it. Why? Because changing your life and getting yourself to a better position is more important than getting a new dress that's 150 quid from this thing. Some of you ladies might be sort of screaming there and saying, how dare you? But it's the truth. It's priority. And you need to learn to grow, which means you need to learn to invest in yourself. If you are constantly in a place you don't want to be, you have to get out of it. Why do I say that? Because like I always say, you ain't got enough time. You haven't got enough time to keep on going down the same path. And knowledge and wisdom is how to get there. That's why you're listening to this episode. That's why you've got up to episode 13. Because it's your time now. It's your time to start using this knowledge, understanding this knowledge in a deeper level, and make the changes necessary to improve your life. And, again, I know I tend to sort of go down a one-sided path here, but my life is amazing, but I still learn every single day. You know, my life is absolutely phenomenal, but I still go out there and I learn more knowledge and new knowledge to help me to achieve higher goals. Why? Because I've got large aspirations, monstrous aspirations. And if you've got big dreams, you've got big aspirations, you want to be free. And I mean truly free. On the financial side of things, the mentality, the spiritual side of things, the physical side of things, you've got to learn. And you've got to learn to learn. Because you might have been told you've got ADHD, you might have been told you've got dyslexia and all these kind of things, but that doesn't stop you from learning. You know, don't put those limitations on yourself. It might take you a bit longer, it might be a little bit more challenging, but it isn't going to stop you. And for those people who just don't know how to learn, you've got to figure it out. You know, we learn through auditory, kinesthetic, and visually. And a few other deeper ones we're not going to go into. But you learn through those 3 main activities. And if you haven't figured out how you learn yet, there are tests. You could probably do a test on YouTube. You could probably do a test online. I don't know. Maybe you could go to the doctors and maybe they've got a test there. I don't know. But you've got to find a way. You've got to search for the answers. It comes back to the same thing. It doesn't mean you've got to search and go on a lifelong crusade of trying to find all of these answers that you probably don't need. But if you've got answers that you want, you have to search for those answers. And if you're not, you're going to stay in the same place. And again, don't forget, I'm talking specifically from a standpoint as to if you want to change, you've got to change. If you don't want to change, be happy. Be happy. Still do a bit of learning though. It's fun. You know, I enjoy learning. I love it. Because you come to... Look, like, do you know the most important thing is that when you start to learn something new, and you gain a specialised knowledge, not only can you help other people, but you actually open up doors and opportunities and things you never thought that could happen. You know, take for instance somebody who learns banking or they learn taxing or something like that. I don't know, tax, you know, US and UK tax systems. Who knows, you might open a business up and you might save yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars when you become a multi-millionaire. And this is the most important thing. You have to learn that specialised knowledge to help you to get to where you want to be. And there are many different avenues. It's not just university and degrees and college. It's not just that. There are many different avenues to learn what it is you need to help people. And the second thing is learning to get out of depression. Now, this is quite a statement. And some of you might not be happy with that statement. Again, I was depressed and now I'm not depressed. So I'm living proof of the statement. So you can argue it all you like, but I'm living proof of the statement. I was heavily depressed. I was miserable. I was fed up. I saw no way out. Got myself out of it. Sometimes... This is one of my biggest philosophies, my biggest beliefs. Sometimes there is an ability to learn to get out of depression. There's information out there, there's something out there that's going to click something in place for you, is going to give you back control, is going to make you happy, is going to dissolve all of the pain and suffering you're going through. And you're going to get out of depression. And all because you taught yourself. You taught yourself how. Because again, ultimately, bottom line of everything, every teaching, you're in control. And a lot of people have said to me, and I will never discredit this, that obviously going on medication was that little kick that helped them to break the chain. Awesome. Not telling you not to go to the doctors, not telling you to ignore all of the people that are talking to you, but what I am telling you is to do something harmless, which is learn. If you're miserable, if you're depressed, if you're not where you want to be, do something harmless, which is learn. Learning's harmless. Right? Learning is harmless. It's just information. How you process it is where it comes in. You know, if you think this is a load of BS and you think it's a load of garbage, then guess what? You're going to go somewhere else for the info. But you processed it. I gave you some information. I gave you some learning material. And you processed it how you wanted to. And, you know, going from depression to learning to have better relationships, you might be depressed in your relationship. Your relationship might not be where you want it to be because who knows? You know, something might be going wrong. Something might be the discord. Maybe you don't know how they love. Remember we mentioned that before? Maybe you don't know what they're going through. Maybe you don't know how to deal with people. I know a lot of people that have no idea how to deal with people. They moan at them, they criticise them, they slag them off, they're arguing with them, they're shouting in their face, they're calling them all the names under the sun, they're saying, you don't do this, They don't know how to deal with people. As soon as you do that, here's a promise for you. Okay, you know the little quote, never make a promise I can't keep. Here's a promise for you. If you criticise, condemn, or slag someone off to their face, I promise you, you will lose their respect in the moment. Gone. You slag them off, you make them feel bad about themselves, it's gone. Why do I say that? Because you've come into their spiritual realm, you've come into their internal, and you've just literally pulled their heart out because you've made them feel terrible. Like, this life isn't meant for that. You're not meant to make people feel bad. You're not meant to make people suffer. And you need to learn how to deal with people. You need to learn how to stop doing that. For some of you, it's your dreams. You've got to learn what you need to do to get to where your dream is. I've always said this. This is actually going to be a very, very big bit of advice for you guys. If you've got a pen and paper, write it down. Go and find someone who's done what you want to do and follow them. Follow their footsteps. Because they're going to give you some serious information. Some of you might never take this on board. It's down to you. But I'm telling you right now, they're going to give you some serious information. And that information could totally transform your life in a year. If you use it properly. And this is what it's about. This kind of stuff that we preach, this kind of stuff we talk about, is all about understanding how to make the most out of life. Because, I'm not saying that attaining and achieving stuff is the be-all and end-all, because just being. I put a quote the other day, just be, full stop. Really profound quote, I really liked it. Sometimes you just got to be. In the moment, right there, right then, and let nothing else bother you. But sometimes that moment isn't enough for you. And that's fine. If the moment ain't enough, then go and get what is enough for you. And for the people that say, about the ego and about letting go of all the materialistic stuff, interesting. But in letting go of all the materialistic stuff, you're still listening to me on a phone, laptop, radio, or whatever it is. So I would say that you do whatever you want to do that makes you happy. Because if you're happy, you're on the right vibration, baby. Right? If you're happy, you are on the right vibration. You're going to get yourself in the right place at the right time to meet the right people to make your life better. And my life is going to improve. Oh, yeah. My life is going to improve drastically because I'm going to meet the right people. Eventually, I'll have a woman by my side and she'll be beautiful in my eyes. Eventually, I'll have a beautiful little daughter and maybe a son or another daughter. I don't know. Whatever life chooses to give to me. And this is it. We have to realise that every day I'm learning. I'm learning what I need to do to get me to where I want to be. And some of you aren't putting the work in to learn. It's effort. Learning is effort. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes a grueling efficiency to learn the right things to help you to get to where you want to be. It really does, and I can't lie about it. And I won't lie to you about it. I have to say it how it is. There are some big-ass truths you've got to swallow. And some of you, maybe you're not going to be willing enough to do it. Maybe you ain't going to be ready. But for the people who do listen to this and do take it on board, and actually as soon as they finish this episode, go ahead and Google how it is to open up a business, or how it is to be a better partner, or how it is to be a better person in their workplace. To those people, I tip my hat to you. Because you're going to discover stuff. Some stuff might be garbage, but some stuff might be absolute gold dust. And when you learn it, and implement it, and take action on it, and use it in your life, the world's your oyster, as they say. And the next part on learning to grow is understanding authority. So I had a big problem in school with authority. Okay, so when it comes to teachers and lessons and stuff like that, I didn't want to do any of it because I wasn't interested in any of it. So what that's told us over the years and what that's taught us is that certain aspects of learning is such a negative thing. It's such a bad, negative, horrible experience because our teachers were horrible people, or they didn't believe in us, or they made us think that we were worthless, or they made us think that we couldn't do anything. And the problem with that is you have to take back control. You have to understand that 1, 2, 3, 10 different person experience you had with learning in school wasn't actually what learning really is. Because I learn now with nobody breathing down my neck or trying to make me learn something I don't want to learn. I have total control over my learning now. So my advice to you would be to fall back in love with learning. If you've got a notepad and pen next to you, you're going to want to write that down. Fall back in love with learning. Because learning frees the soul from some of the chains and pain and suffering that gets bestowed upon us by not having the right information. Just like I said, with depression, anxiety, and crappy relationships, and bad jobs, and bad life situations, a lot of it's just because you've never been shown a different image. You've never been given the different bits of knowledge and wisdom that help you to change the outcomes, to change the things that are going on in your life. And many people who try to make head nor tail of it end up frustrating themselves because they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. There are people that don't know who to speak to. They don't know how to find the places and the people and the podcasts and the groups and the hotlines that help them to feel free. And the more we learn inside of ourselves, the more we learn within us, the more we can do and share with other people, which helps them to improve their lives. So a lot of the time it's not even just about us learning. It actually goes deeper than that. It goes on a ripple effect. It reaches more people. And sometimes you could meet the right person at the right time who needs the right article that you read 3 days ago that helps them to stop feeling and doing drugs and going down an addictive path that's going to really hurt them in the future. And again, a lot of the things I say are very abrupt and very intensive, but I say the same things as I always say. These things are meant out of love. And until you realise that there is a world outside of your world that you don't see yet, you'll carry on living this world. You'll carry on living this experience. And, well, if you carry on living an experience that you're miserable in, you will forever be stuck in the rabbit hole. You will forever be stuck on the hamster wheel of life, should we say. Probably a better example. And you'll just go round and round and round and round and round and round until you drive yourself insane. And then you'll get to the end of your life, you'll look back over everything and you'll have regret. Because you didn't see anything different. Or you'll hate people. You know, you've always heard people, all men are bad. Or all women are ridiculous. All women should be in the kitchen. It's just a belief that's been installed to them through information that they learned from the wrong people. I don't believe that. I don't believe any either of those statements. Not with any ounce of my being. Because I was taught different. I learnt a different side of life, a different path, a different understanding to love and care. If I love and care, I'm not going to say that about people. I'm not going to say all women are bad. I'm not going to say that all men or women should be in the kitchen, or I don't know, whatever. It's because I learnt different. And if you're not willing to learn, there's a couple of questions I always say. What is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to accept change? Those two questions right there, if you ask yourselves those two questions every single day, you'll be surprised in 12 months or 24 months how different your life has become. Because you'll go into work and your boss will say, oh, hey, come over. I've got something I want to teach you. And it just goes in one ear and out the other. Instead, this time you absorb it. And all of a sudden, you make such an impression, you become a manager in 12 months. It can be that drastic. It really can. And that's the beauty of it. That's why I'm smiling. That's why I love it so much. Is because it can be that drastic. It could be that much of a turning point in your life. So, listen guys, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this episode on learning to grow. It's very important. Please do make notes. Make notes on how to learn, how to grow. You know, ask yourselves the questions. Go on Google, find the answers. And I just hope that you are reaching the points in your life where things are starting to change. You know, and if you want to follow me more, then go ahead and follow me on my Facebook page. It'll be in the podcast show notes, so you'll be able to go and check that out and come and follow me on Facebook. I do Wisdom Wednesdays, every single Wednesdays live. So if you want to ask me questions live, then come at Wisdom Wednesdays at 8 o'clock GMP. And I will also put the PST and EST times in there. But come over there and check that out. We always do different topics. And I just can't wait to give you guys the knowledge and wisdom that's going to help you. So listen guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for watching this episode or listening if you're on iTunes or Stitcher or anywhere else. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next